fractions and decimals. So you need to be able to convert back and forth with them. Okay. So metric system is a base 10 system and commonly uses decimals. So the metric system uses decimals. For example, 14.7 centimeters. How many meters is that? 0.147. Okay, we'll be talking about how to do that as well. It's because there's 100 centimeters, you have to move your decimals 2 spots. Okay. The imperial system is fraction based, so there's going to be no decimals. None. When converting from metric to imperial, you must convert into fractions. So 0.3, what does that equal as a fraction? Well, what's the place value of the decimal? That place value is the tenths, and so it would be 3/10. Okay. So how to do this is all in the names of the decimal place. This decimal, 0.27, ends in the second decimal spot, which is the hundredths. And so if I say round to the hundredths, that's where you'd round. So what kind of fraction does that make? 27 over 100. You guys see the pattern? All right. Now, it's a little bit different with the imperial system because a lot of the fractions are out of 16. So we can cheat a little and handle them a different way. For example, converting this one, we have to convert the mixed number. So mixed would be a number in front to an improper fraction. So how do we convert this so it's all out of 4? 4, there's 7 groups of 4. How much is 7 groups of 4? 28. Plus the 3 that's already there, 31. So it's 31 over 4. Okay. Convert B by yourself. Go. Don't use your calculator for 5 times 12, please. That's 60. So it's 67 over 12. Okay. Any questions? Good. Going the other direction now is a little bit harder. How many groups of 37 are in 8? Sorry, how many groups of 8 are in 37? 4. There's 4 whole groups. What's 4 times 8? 32. So if I take away 32, how much is remaining? 5. Okay. Now, calculator, you're stuck at a hard fraction. Let's use your calculator. So what we can go is 37 divided by 8. What does that equal? What's 37 divided by 8? 4 point what? Oh, you guys. Here, I got my calculator. 37 divided by 8. You're right, it equals 4.625. Okay. So you can convert that to a whole fraction of 4. Okay. So this is just an easy way for you to get that front number. Okay. And then what you can do is figure out, oh, well, what is 4 groups of 8? 4 times 8 equals 32. And so now you can figure out what to subtract. Okay. Please do B by yourself. Go. Who sits beside you, Inder? Alex, okay. This is beside you? Okay. So we have 6 and 11 over 12. Hands up if you got that. Good. I hope you didn't just cheat and use the calculator button on your calculator. Some calculators, if you use your ABC button and you press equals, it'll convert for you, and you can go back and forth. Okay, so next, okay, convert the following measurements into mixed fractions by noting that an inch can be split into 16ths. So we can convert this. Here's our whole number 8, and what's the 0.95 now? Well, that can be 95 over 100. Okay, but we can do that a different way as well. What we can do is we can go 0.95 times 16. That'll tell us how many 16ths we have. We have 15.2. So what that means is we have 15 over 16ths, and there's going to be a decimal. That 0.2, we have to round. Okay, so we're going to round that off. And so our whole fraction then will be 8 and 15 over 16ths. This will be approximate. This will be exact. Okay. That will be exact. Usually what we don't want the exact fraction, we want the approximate answer. Okay? So you just simply go 0.95 times 16 to figure out how many 16ths are left over. Okay. Try that for the next one, please. So we can have 6, 388. What goes underneath 388? Not tens, not hundreds, but thousands. Okay. And so then if we do the exact answer, 0.388 times 16, sorry, the approximate answer, so we have 6.2 16ths. So we're just going to leave it as a 6. So we have 6 as the whole number and 6 over 16. Okay, so that's the approximate answer. Is that how I should leave it, or is there something else I need to do? You're right, I need to reduce it. So 6 does not get reduced. But then what about the 6 and the 16? Divide by 2 will work. Will 4 work? No. Will 3 work? No. 2 it is. So 6 and 3/8. Okay, with the metric imperial system, you're looking at 16ths, 8ths, quarters, and halves. Okay, those are the big ones that you reduce to. Okay, halves. So if you're going from the smallest one, it would be quarters, halves, 8ths. Okay, then 16ths. Now some can go 32s and 64s, but you have to be. That's pretty exact. Okay. Yep.
Can you simplify the exact answer too?
You should, but I'm not going to right now. Okay. I just don't feel like it, but you totally should. But again, the reason why I'm not going to is because which answer do we want? The approximate one. Because for us, for imperial system, you want to be measuring out of 16ths. Okay, we can't, like, you have to have a very specific measuring device to measure something more than that. That's why we go with approximate. Something that's really special for this unit. Okay. And they always say, what's the approximate measurement? They'll never ask for the exact. I just want to show you the difference, though. Okay. Okay, so next one. Height is often expressed in feet and inches. For example, well, that's not me, but someone is 5 foot 5 inches. Okay. So noting that in inches, it's 12 inches in every foot. So here we cannot have a decimal for feet. We would have 5 whole feet. But then how many inches would we have? Well, 4167. We multiply that by 12 because there's 12 inches in every foot. So now we're converting our feet back into inches. And we get 6.67. So again, we wouldn't go, we could, let's round that to the nearest inch. What should that be to the nearest inch? 7. So 7 feet, 7 inches. So we want to round to the nearest inch. Okay. So 5 foot 7 inches. Okay, next, now we get 0.273 feet. Round that to the nearest inch, please. Yep. Is it? So 0.4167 times 12. Oh, what did I do there? That was really weird. Okay. So it's 5 point, I bet you I multiply by 16. 0.0004, so 5 feet 5 inches. Okay. We're going to be doing a lot of this stuff in our calculations. Can you do the next one then, please? 9 feet, how many inches? Uh, 3.276. So around that's the nearest inch, we'll go 9 feet 3 inches. Okay. Good. Next, Pythagoras. Who's booing? Stop that. So two formulas. C squared equals A squared plus B squared, and C must be the hypotenuse. How do you find your hypotenuse? Well, your 90-degree symbol is like an arrowhead pointing to the hypotenuse. So this would be your hypotenuse. Okay? It's across from 90 degrees. Now, when you're checking your answers, what's the most important thing to look for? Your hypotenuse is what? You're right. It's the longest side. So it should be the biggest number. So check your answers. If you get some number that's bigger than it, you got a problem. Now, the other formula is a leg. This is what we call the leg. The leg equals the hypotenuse squared minus the other leg squared. Okay? It does not matter which one's A and which one's B. Okay? It does not matter. Make sure you square them. So, now we're going to use everything we just learned. Love this stuff. So what we have to do is at the grade 10 level, you do Pythagoras and Pythagoras. You never just do one Pythagoras. So we want to find x. In order to find x, we need to figure out that side. So let's call that side y, just for good measure. So how do we find y? We will say y squared equals what? Do we add them or subtract them? Which one's the hypotenuse, folks? 12. So since we already have the longest side, we're going to have to subtract. Okay. This would be non-calculator. 144 minus 100. Y squared equals 44. Do we really care what y equals? Absolutely not. Why? Why care about y? That's right. X is what we care about because as soon as we know the value for y squared, that's all we need to know. This is not a calculator question. So then, x squared, what should we do? Are we finding the hypotenuse of the second triangle? Oh, yes, we are. So x squared has to be big. In order to make something bigger, you have to add things together. So we're going to go 8 squared plus what? Wait for it. Y squared. Oh, that's why we wouldn't take the square root of y squared, because we need to figure out what y squared is. So 64 plus what? 44. Mr. Barker, that's so cool. It's easier than last year. Yes, I know. So what's 64 plus 44? 108. So what does x equal then? Don't touch your calculators. You're right. It equals the square root of 108. Welcome to grade 10. We don't give decimals for these answers. Oh, I wonder if we have to simplify this. Yes, you do. So what can you take out? Better start working, folks. Divide by 2, 54. Divide by 2, 27. Divide by 3, 9. Divide by 3, 3. So square root 108 equals what? What is the answer they're expecting? Harkier? What'd you say? Here's a pair, Harkier. There's a pair. So you can take out the value of 2 and 3. So what's on the outside? What's on the inside? Good. There's your answer, folks. 6 root 3. No decimals allowed. Welcome to grade 10. You just got initiated. Yep.
In the formula, it says x squared equals 8 squared plus y squared, so wouldn't you have to square 44?
No. Y squared equals 44. We didn't find the value of y. Okay? So if you want to do this, the other way you can show your work is you can say, yeah, y equals square root 44. But then you're going to be doing this. Square root 44 squared. Okay? So, which equals 44. Same thing. All right? Good. Number 2. Now this is a really easy question. What does x squared equal? First of all, figure out where's the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is right there. All right. Do some figuring. Go for it. Because x squared equals square root 75 squared plus square root 50. Sorry, wrong. Minus, thank you, square root 50 squared. So, no calculator. 75 minus 50. Oh, ooh la la. X squared equals 25. X equals square root 25, which is simply 5. See how they take the fun out of this? No calculators. Shucks darn it. They're so mean. Okay. Question here. So, question length 3. What are we going to do, folks? Make these into entire radicals. What are these as entire radicals? Go. I'd say this could be calculator assisted. Because 49 times 5 is a bit large, although it's basically 50 times 5. Take away 5. 245. So here, we'll call this, what letter do you guys want to use? Sure, W. Thanks, guys. So W squared equals what? Well, which one's the hypotenuse? I'd say the arrow is pointing there. So we have square root 245 squared minus square root 75 squared. Okay. So 245 minus 25, W squared equals 220. Oh, stand by 1. Oh, 75. Thank you. 75 I'd use my calculator then because I'm lazy. 245. 170. So W equals square root 170. So, better start to see if you can simplify. Take out a group of 2. $85. Divide by 5. What was that? 17? Good. And then you're done. So can you take anything out? Doesn't look like it to me. Can you? Nope. So that's our final answer, square root 170. Okay. Okay, finding the lengths of diagonals. Oh, this is awesome. Star number 4. This is a classic question. They're going to ask you questions like this all the time. Okay. So first of all, there's a couple ways to do it. You're going to work on 2 different planes. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what this hypotenuse is right here. Okay. We'll call it x. So you got to figure that one out first. So we're working on the plane that goes into your page. So figure out what x squared equals. Go. $34. So now what we're going to do is you just found the hypotenuse that goes into your page. What we're going to do now is figure out the super hypotenuse. So A and B, sometimes we call it the super hypotenuse. Or the super hypotenuse. So now what you have to do is do Pythagoras again. Your triangle is still 90 degrees, but it's still oriented into the page. So we can say AB squared, the 2 letters squared, that's the line AB, equals 2 squared plus square root 34 squared. Okay. Or if you want, you can just change that to x squared, that's fine too. So it's going to be 4 plus 34. So AB squared equals 38. Square root 38. Okay. So then see if you can simplify it. Divide by 2. You get 19. Oh, I think you're done, aren't you? Because 19 is not going to simplify. So we're done. Okay. Yeah.
How did you figure out that x was the hypotenuse?
Well, between 3 and 5, how could it not be the hypotenuse? Because this is a corner, and so these 2 lines have to make 90 degrees. Okay. It's a little weird because you're going into the page, right? So I totally get that question. Okay. Any questions? Any more? Okay. Perimeter area and volumes. This is going to be somewhat of a review for you. I'll hand out your formula sheets tomorrow. You'll be given all this information. Okay. So area of a rectangle, area of a triangle, area of a circle is pi r squared. And then you have perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the outside. Okay. So a lot of times you're just going to add 2 lengths and 2 widths, or you can add them together and then multiply by 2. So it's your choice on which method you choose for the rectangle. The triangle, you'll probably have to end up doing Pythagoras or calculation before you have all 3 sides. Okay. They'll never just give you a question where you just add all 3 sides. And then a circle, 2 pi r, or pi times diameter. Okay. So, write the perimeter area for each shape. We're going to go a little quick here because it is review, and I do want to give you a bit of time to see your worksheet. Okay, so here, is this on a different page for you guys? Okay. Area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi times 5 squared. Remember, diameter equals 10, so the radius equals diameter divided by 2, so it's 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So the area is, remember 5 squared equals 5 times 5. Some people are still multiplying by 2. 25 times pi. Okay. And your units is meters squared. There's your final answer. Never ever give me a decimal unless I say to, especially for a circle. Hands up if you've never seen a number like that before. 25 times pi. You know? Where'd you go to school last year, Minkar? Where'd you go to school last year?
Yeah.
Who's your teacher? Oh, okay. Good. 25 pi. Number 1. Okay, write the perimeter and area for each shape. So for this one, divide into 2. So here's area 1, here's area 2. Notice how this is 5 centimeters, this is also 5 centimeters. Okay. So area 1 would be 5 times 20 plus area 2. Area 2 would be 7 times 5. Okay, so it's going to be 100 plus 35, 135 centimeters squared. Okay. For the perimeter, add up all the sides, please. I'll print it out, but there's stuff that you need. Okay, now for the perimeter, this measurement here will be 7 plus 5 equals 13 centimeters. So be careful with that. Okay, this measurement here will be 20 minus 5, which equals 15 centimeters. So for perimeter, you have 20 plus 13 plus 5 plus 7 plus 15 plus 5. Okay, so you have to get all your different measurements. Sometimes you have to subtract. Yep. Like I said, it's 12. Thanks. What am I doing today? Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, add up all the perimeter. Who's got it? Yes, Chrissy? 5'9" centimeters. Good. Okay, for a circle then, let's see the circle. Circumference equals 2 pi r. Yep.
Mr. Johnson's confirmed it was the relay.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much. So circumference equals 2 times pi times 5, which is 10 pi. And yes, you could have used pi times diameter. Okay? Yep. Right here? There we go. Perfect. Okay. Questions? I'm kind of rushing. Sorry about that. Okay, this one. Area equals base times height divided by 2. area equals 7 times 24 divided by 2. This will be on the non-calculator. Why? Because what's 24 divided by 2? Times 7? Okay, 84 meters squared. So you can divide by 2 anywhere you want in that formula. Okay, you can divide the 7 by 2, but that's hard. Okay, or you can divide the total by 2, or 24 by 2. Good. For perimeter, you'd be 7 plus 24 plus, you'd have to do Pythagoras and figure out that side. Okay. Because of time, we won't bother doing that, but watch out for that. Okay. Next one, volume. So volume of a cube is side times, length times width times height. But they're not going to tell that to you. What we like to do is we say it's the area of the base times the height. This is the formula that they tell you, area of the base. So you got to be the thinker that you are, and you all are, and you have to understand, area of the base must be length times width. Okay? And so then you can figure out the volume, 6 times 10 times 2. Go ahead and do that, please. Okay. So 6 times 10 times 2, 120 units. What would that be? Units squared? Cubed. Do you guys know why it's units cubed? Yep.
Because it's inside of the cube.
Units times units times units. The base is the same. What do you do with the exponents? You're right. We just finished this unit. 1 plus 1 plus 1. We're multiplying 3 units, so we add the exponents. That's why we get units cubed. Okay.